An icon in the acting industry, Dustin Hoffman has mesmerized audiences with his extraordinary versatility and complexity in roles for decades. Originating from a modest socioeconomic background, Hoffman's ascent to fame was fraught with obstacles and unyielding resolve. From his early days of struggle in the New York theater scene to his breakthrough in the film industry, Hoffman has left an indelible impression on Hollywood with a series of critically acclaimed performances. This video explores the life of Dustin Hoffman, detailing his personal struggles and triumphs that have influenced his extraordinary career, as well as his ascent from an aspiring actor to a renowned personality. The birth date of Dustin Hoffman is August 8, 1937. His trajectory within the film industry has been remarkably remarkable, solidifying his status as an undisputed Hollywood legend. Early on, Hoffman's existence did not indicate a potential for a career in acting. Hoffman, who was born in Los Angeles, California, to a set decorator and a jazz pianist as parents, initially had aspirations unrelated to the film industry. Nevertheless, fate had other intentions. Acting became his passion during his time at Santa Monica College. This realization propelled him down a trajectory that would fundamentally alter his existence and the landscape of the film industry. Hoffman arrived in New York City during the 1960s. It would later serve as the catalyst for his acting career. As a struggling actor in a metropolis teeming with talent, he encountered numerous setbacks and rejections. However, it was these initial obstacles that strengthened his determination and refined his abilities. His landmark performance was as the iconic Benjamin Braddock in The Graduate, 1967, which propelled him to prominence and earned him an Academy Award nomination. Each of Hoffman's varied roles throughout his career demonstrates his capacity to become completely engrossed in his characters. Having portrayed a destitute father in Kramer vs. Kramer and an indelible autistic savant in Rain Man, Hoffman possesses an unprecedented range as an actor. His ability to imbue his roles with authenticity, substance, and nuance is unparalleled, regardless of whether the setting is a comedy, drama, or something else entirely. Notwithstanding his ascent to fame's pinnacle, Hoffman's personal life has also garnered considerable attention. Although less documented and of shorter duration than the actor's other relationships, Beverly Johnson and Dustin Hoffman's relationship provides an intriguing chapter in his personal life. Beverly Johnson, an individual of significant influence, attained notoriety for being the initial African-American model to grace the cover of Vogue. Her accomplishments as a model shattered conventions and established novel benchmarks within the realm of fashion. In the interim, Dustin Hoffman had solidified his reputation as a multifaceted and gifted actor, renowned for his enthralling performances and pivotal roles within the Hollywood film industry. They came into contact during the latter part of the 1970s, when they were both established authorities in their respective domains. Hoffman entered this phase of his life marked by transformation and investigation, which transpired subsequent to the dissolution of his first marriage and prior to forging an enduring bond with his second spouse. A combination of glitz and ardor, Beverly and Dustin's relationship was characterized by the exhilaration that is customary in high-profile partnerships. They were frequently spotted at events and gatherings together, which sparked media speculation and interest. Notwithstanding the potential inherent in their bond, the relationship between Dustin and Beverly was doomed to be short-lived. Their eventual separation resulted from the demands of their prominent professions and the difficulties inherent in maintaining a relationship in the public eye. The relationship between Dustin Hoffman and Veruschka von Lehndorff is a compelling yet lesser-known facet of Hoffman's life that provides insight into his interactions with a fashion industry icon. In the 1960s, German model and actress Veruschka ascended to prominence. With a towering stature of 6 feet 3 inches, she garnered significant acclaim within the fashion industry due to her unique aesthetics and progressive design philosophy. Both individuals crossed paths at a time when their respective professions were at their pinnacle. Veruschka, a revered figure among photographers and designers, and Hoffman, an emerging celebrity subsequent to his sensational performance in The Graduate, discovered a mutual comprehension of the challenges and exhilaration associated with notoriety. However, similar to numerous relationships that occur in the rapidly evolving realm of celebrity, their bond was fleeting. Although lacking sustainability, their romantic involvement constituted a momentous juncture in the lives of both individuals. The dynamic between Anne Byrne and Dustin Hoffman encompasses sentiments of youthful affection, mutual artistic ardors, and the intricacies of existence in the limelight of Hollywood. Although brief in duration, their voyage together had a profound impact on the formative years of Dustin's illustrious career and his trajectory as a family man. Anne Byrne, an artistically inclined ballet dancer, characterized by sophistication and ingenuity, encountered Dustin at a time when he was approaching a turning point in his film career. Their fortuitous encounter marked the merging of two realms of artistic expression. Dustin, characterized by his unwavering commitment to the craft of acting, and Anne, renowned for her elegance and composure as a dancer, developed a reciprocal comprehension of the challenges and pleasures inherent in an artistic lifestyle. Their romantic relationship flourished against the backdrop of the cultural and artistic transformations of the 1960s. Dustin benefited immensely from Anne's empathy and assistance during the arduous initial stages of his acting career. She accompanied him on his meteoric rise to prominence in Hollywood, a process exemplified by his seminal performance in The Graduate. In 1969, at a time when Dustin's professional trajectory was peaked, the couple entered into matrimony. As they joined forces, they greeted their daughter Jenna, which brought delight to Dustin's life. Concurrently, he assumed the responsibility of a stepfather to Karina, which was Anne's daughter from a previous relationship. Due to Dustin's rising fame, their family life was a mixture of commonplace moments and extraordinary obligations. Unbeknownst to the international community, the actor's personal wedlock with Anne Byrne was deteriorating at the same time that his Oscar-winning performance in Kramer vs. Kramer was being praised. Hoffman acknowledged that a significant portion of his character was derived from the anguish and unrest he was undergoing at home. In doing so, he muddled the line between fiction and reality by imbuing his characters with genuineness through his personal experiences. Hoffman's participation in the film extended beyond acting. He also contributed to the rewriting of the script, molding it to mirror the turmoil he experienced in his personal life. The film served as a cathartic outlet for his emotions, mirroring the fractures in his marriage. In an interview with GQ, he reflected on this time, stating that he had anticipated the filming process to be arduous, but it was in fact that it was emancipatory, as if he had written his own narrative. However, the unrest did not conclude with Kramer vs. Kramer. As Hoffman's professional trajectory advanced, so did the intricacies in his personal life. He was on the verge of losing a pivotal role in Rain Man, which would have earned him his second Best Actor Oscar. In a moment of uncertainty, he approached director Barry Levinson with the suggestion that Richard Dreyfuss portray Tom Cruise's autistic brother. Levinson, a renowned filmmaker who had previously overseen projects such as Good Morning Vietnam and Bugsy, was left to ponder whether Hoffman would have accepted the role had he been presented with it prior to production. This renewed scrutiny shed light on the actor's inner conflicts and uncertainties. Despite the affection and recollections shared, Anne Byrne and Hoffman's matrimonial union encountered a juncture, culminating in their mutual choice to divorce in 1980. The 40-plus-year duration of Lisa Gottsigan and Dustin Hoffman's romantic partnership exemplifies a narrative of enduring companionship. Hoffman already had a prominent career as an actor at the time of their 1980 encounter. Lisa Gottsigan, an astute and refined businesswoman, introduced a renewed equilibrium and stability into Hoffman's existence through her resolute demeanor and grounded presence. The union of the couple in October 1980 commenced a voyage replete with collective elation, adversity, and triumph. Lisa, assuming the role of stepmother to Hoffman's two children from a previous union, graciously accepted the obligations. As a result, the couple welcomed 4 children into their household: Jacob, Rebecca, Maxwell, and Alexandra. Each of the children, who grew up in an environment infused with affection and ingenuity, cultivated an individualistic disposition. Lied never had a dull day in her life with Dustin Hoffman. She deftly maneuvered through the complexities of being married to a Hollywood celebrity with composure and fortitude. The couple's existence was a singular fusion of official appearances, private screenings, and everyday family responsibilities. They remain married to this day. Hoffman's trajectory was not devoid of obstacles. In 2017, he became entangled in a substantial controversy that reverberated throughout his illustrious career. This period coincided with the #MeToo movement's ascent, which exposed allegations of sexual misconduct against influential figures across diverse sectors, of which Hoffman was among them. This chapter in his life was marked by adversity and controversy. The accusations levied against Hoffman surfaced during an era when discussions regarding sexual harassment and misconduct were progressively becoming public and urgent. A number of women came forward with allegations against Hoffman, providing details of alleged incidents that transpired at various points in his career. These allegations presented an entirely different picture than the reputable public image Hoffman had built up. Anna Graham Hunter was among the initial accusers, claiming that Hoffman harassed her during her internship on the set of the 1985 television film Death of a Salesman when she was 17 years old. Hunter detailed her allegations in her writings at the time. In the wake of Hunter's claims, additional women came forward with similar accusations, holding Hoffman accountable for behavior of varying degrees of inappropriateness. Hoffman's reaction to the accusations was a combination of defense and apologies. In a statement addressing Hunter's allegations, he expressed regret for any unsettling actions he may have caused her and apologized for the distress caused. Nevertheless, he further contended that the incidents did not represent his character. This response elicited a range of reactions. The accusations introduced a troubling dimension to Hoffman's legacy, which had previously been admired for his versatility and depth, and had a significant impact on his reputation. The general public, which had previously held him in high regard for his contributions to cinema, was now confronted with these grave allegations. This sparked a more extensive discourse regarding the accountability of public figures and the significance of establishing secure and respectful work environments across all organizations. An additional instance of Hoffman's public interaction occurred amidst the splendor and significance of Hollywood. Hoffman addressed a significant concern that surpasses the confines of the film industry: systemic racism in the United States. Rather than a staged affair or in the presence of cameras, this thought-provoking dialogue transpired in an unforeseen and symbolic location, a Madison Square Garden basketball game. During an evening crowded with film industry luminaries gathered to celebrate the Oscars, Hoffman opted for an alternative course of action. He spent the evening with Spike Lee, a fellow industry luminary renowned for his impactful work and candid opinions. Lee, who boycotted the Oscar ceremony due to its perceived lack of diversity, was a paragon of silent protest at the Knicks game. This choice made by Lee, which was also expressed by notable individuals such as Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith, brought attention to a more profound and systemic concern that transcends an individual occasion. The Oscars, which are frequently esteemed as the highest honors in film, had, for the second year in a row, exclusively nominated white actors. This sparked extensive discourse and introspection regarding the industry's representation. Hoffman, who has won 2 Oscars, did not simply observe this moment in silence. Rather, he spoke his mind, echoing the sentiments expressed by comedian Chris Rock during the Oscars. In his opening monologue, Rock vehemently criticized the recurring lack of diversity, shedding light on a decades-old pattern. Hoffman's stance on this matter was candid and unwavering. Racism has always been a problem. In a sense, it reflects the nature of the nation. Hoffman perceived this not solely as a matter limited to the Oscars or Hollywood, but rather as a reflective surface illuminating a more extensive societal predicament. His outlook served as an impassioned appeal to recognize and confront the entrenched racial prejudices that persistently infest diverse aspects of American existence. In response to the question of how to address this systemic problem, Hoffman proposed an approach based on advocacy and activism. "We change when the oppressed force it to change," he said, implying that those who suffer the most from such injustices are the source of significant change. While attending the opening of the Metrograph, the first independently owned movie theater to open in Manhattan in over a decade, Hoffman expressed his support for independent cinema through his significant presence. He emphasized the importance of independent films, alluding to their capacity to depict a wider range of experiences and narratives. "They refer to my era as the golden age of film, but I believe that the golden age of film continues to exist," Hoffman said. An unexpected development that instilled optimism and relief in his global fan base was Dustin Hoffman's triumph in a personal struggle. Hoffman, who was 75 years old at the time, confronted a formidable adversary, not an antagonist from a screenplay, but rather an extremely real and personal battle against cancer. The statement made by his representative to ABC News was a ray of hope. Hoffman had been effectively treated for cancer. The representative emphasized that the early detection of the disease and subsequent surgical cure constituted a fortunate turn of events that significantly contributed to Hoffman's successful recovery. Additionally, the representative stated that Dustin is in excellent health and is feeling fantastic. The specific form of cancer that Hoffman fought against was not disclosed, mirroring his inclination towards privacy, even in matters of this gravity concerning his well-being. However, what was clear was his steadfast dedication to continuous preventive therapies. Hoffman's difficult time coincided with noteworthy professional achievements. Merely a few months before his diagnosis, he debuted as a director with the film Quartet, which explored themes of aging, art, and the lasting influence of passion. This undertaking occupied a unique and sentimental position in Hoffman's heart, as it mirroring his personal odyssey and the epiphany regarding the limited duration of time. In retrospect, he remarked on this on Good Morning America. The most important thing about it was the realization of the finite nature of time. All of a sudden, you reach the age of 75. Either you say that or discontinue use of the substance. Despite facing health challenges, Hoffman maintained a robust creative output. He had successfully concluded production on the film Chef, which featured Scarlett Johansson and Robert Downey Jr., and was slated to commence work on the film Boys Choir. Amidst his recent personal health crisis, Hoffman also engaged in introspection regarding the importance of one of his most renowned performances, Tootsie. This cinematic work, which examined profound concepts such as empathy, identity, and the human condition, acquired an additional stratum of significance in light of his recent tribulations. Dustin Hoffman's personal experience with religion and spirituality is a narrative of exploration, introspection, and self-identity. Born into an Ashkenazi Jewish family with Ukrainian and Romanian ancestry, Hoffman himself had a non-religious upbringing. This particular facet of his life provides a thought-provoking perspective on the challenges faced by numerous individuals who contend with the intricacies of personal convictions and cultural heritage. During his youth, Hoffman was not privy to the customary Jewish festivities that commemorate the beginnings of many individuals who share his ancestry. He once stated, "I have no recollection of celebrating any Jewish holidays as a child," signifying a disconnection from the religious observances of Judaism. As a consequence, Hoffman's affiliation with his Jewish identity during his formative years was primarily cultural and ancestral in nature, rather than spiritual or religious. Hoffman did not become cognizant of his Jewish heritage until approximately 10 years of age. This epiphany presumably prompted a series of inquiries and intrigues regarding the personal and communal implications of this development. His trajectory from this juncture of epiphany exemplifies a prevalent account among individuals who navigate their formative years amidst a sense of religious or cultural atonement. As Hoffman revealed in the PBS series Finding Your Roots, his parents endeavored to distance themselves from their Jewish heritage. This was a common practice among Jewish families, particularly those whose histories were entangled with regions afflicted by persecution and unrest. The rationales for such decisions are frequently multifaceted, encompassing a combination of personal, social, and historical elements. Finding Your Roots significantly influenced Hoffman's investigation into his ancestry and, consequently, his bond with his Jewish heritage. The program revealed a poignant chapter in his family's history, his great-grandmother's previously unknown fate. This disclosure presumably elicited a profound emotional reaction and potentially prompted him to reassess the personal significance of his heritage. Hoffman's experience serves as an illustration of a more extensive motif concerning the process of rediscovery and re-establishment of a connection with one's ancestral origins. Delving into the past of one's great-grandmother could have potentially impacted Hoffman profoundly, providing fresh insights into his sense of self and position in the world. In the case of Hoffman, discovering the fate of his great-grandmother may have fostered a sense of ancestral connection and enhanced his comprehension of his Jewish heritage. Notwithstanding his agnostic upbringing, Hoffman maintains a strong Jewish identity that is intrinsic to his being. In the following section, we shall delve into Dustin Hoffman's Hollywood career. The 1970s marked a turning point in his career as he not only solidified his position as a Hollywood superstar, but also demonstrated his extraordinary versatility as an actor. Following his breakthrough performance in The Graduate, Hoffman entered the decade determined to prove he was not a one-hit wonder. In pursuit of roles that presented challenges and defied typecasting, he was eager to exhibit his range and depth as an actor. Midnight Cowboy, 1969, which entered the public consciousness in the early 1970s, featured Hoffman in the role of Ratso Rizzo, a low-key con artist operating in New York City. Ratso's limp, cough, and rough-edged demeanor were all skillfully incorporated into his performance. Midnight Cowboy was the inaugural X-rated film to secure the Oscar for Best Picture, and Hoffman's performance earned him the accolades it earned. Hoffman continued to undertake a diverse range of demanding roles throughout the 1970s. In Little Big Man, 1970, he portrayed Jack Crabb, a 121-year-old man narrating his life story. This role necessitated Hoffman to assume the persona of a character who progressed from youth to centenarian. His transformation from one age group to the next not only showcased his prowess in makeup and costume, but also his capacity to encapsulate the essence of a character at each life stage. Hoffman's portrayal of the controversial comedian Lenny Bruce in Lenny, 1974, was arguably one of the most difficult of the decade. In this film, he captured Bruce's witty side, struggles with addiction, and battles against censorship. His unfiltered and adamant performance earned him critical acclaim and an additional Academy Award nomination. Hoffman's career reached its pinnacle in the 1970s with the release of Kramer vs. Kramer, 1979, in which he portrayed Ted Kramer, a work-obsessed father who becomes a single parent following the death of his wife. His depiction of Ted's transformation from a neglectful to a devoted father was both emotionally resonant and profoundly genuine. The performance earned him his inaugural Academy Award for Best Actor, a culminating accomplishment that further demonstrated his versatility and aptitude. During this decade, Hoffman also ventured into the realm of theater, reverting to his origins and expanding upon his versatility as a performer. His stage contributions, which included runs in Miller's Death of a Salesman and Shakespeare's The Merchant of Venice, garnered critical acclaim, demonstrating his capacity to enthrall audiences not only in the film, but also in the live setting. Hoffman experienced personal and professional development during the 1970s. He became increasingly outspoken in his criticism of the film industry, advocating for more complex and relatable characters and challenging Hollywood's conventions by seeking out roles that transcended stereotypical depictions. During the 1980s, Dustin Hoffman engaged in a period of experimentation and endeavor, during which he not only solidified his reputation as a versatile actor, but also expanded the limits of his profession. Following a prosperous 1970s, Hoffman entered the decade in fine form, brimming with the assurance and drive to undertake an assortment of roles, each of which presented an entirely new set of obstacles. Hoffman's 1980s career commenced with a performance that would go on to become one of his most renowned, Michael Dorsey, Dorothy Michaels in Tootsie, 1982. In this comedy drama, he portrayed a struggling actor who, desperate for work, disguised himself as a woman in order to land a role in a soap opera. Although the film was a commercial and critical success, more importantly, it was a demonstration of Hoffman's extraordinary range and dedication. His depiction of both Michael and Dorothy was nothing short of extraordinary. During the mid-1980s, Hoffman assumed an additional demanding role in Death of a Salesman, 1985, reprising his Broadway production as Willie Loman. This adaptation of Arthur Miller's classic play provided Hoffman with the opportunity to delve into the profound complexities of a troubled and despondent salesman who struggles with his own shortcomings and delusions. His portrayal of Willie Loman was an acting masterclass, evoking the character's subtleties and intense emotions. Hoffman received his second Academy Award for Best Actor in 1988 for his performance in Rain Man, a film in which he co-starred with Tom Cruise and portrayed autistic savant Raymond Babbitt. In addition to receiving critical acclaim, his performance brought attention to the understudied subject of autism. Hoffman's extensive preparation for the role, which included spending time with autistic individuals to observe their behavior and mannerisms, resulted in a successful outcome. During the 1980s, Hoffman assumed a greater degree of professional autonomy by engaging in production, thereby ensuring that the projects he appeared in were consistent with his artistic vision. This marked a significant shift from his previous role as an actor who merely received direction, to one in which he exerted considerable influence over the creative trajectory of his projects. As the 1980s came to a close, Dustin Hoffman had not only solidified his reputation as a gifted actor, but also as a multifaceted artist with a profound understanding of his craft. His performances throughout this period served as evidence of his ongoing capacity to push boundaries and imbue his characters with nuance and complexity. From the thought-provoking role in Tootsie to the moving depiction in Rain Man, Hoffman's appearances left an indelible mark that transcended mere memorability and left a lasting impression. Hoffman's trajectory during the 1980s extended beyond a succession of triumphant films. It encompassed a phase of development, investigation, and audacity. The actor founded the decade as a renowned prodigy and concluded it as a cinematic stalwart, renowned for his commitment to his roles and his aptitude for embodying intricate, multifaceted personas. Dustin Hoffman solidified his status as a seasoned performer during the 1990s, a decade characterized by exploration and consolidation. Having established himself as an actor with considerable versatility and profundity, Hoffman continued to undertake roles that tested his abilities and captivated audiences. During the early 1990s, Hoffman showcased his versatility in the Steven Spielberg reinterpretation of the Peter Pan tale Hook, 1991. In the role of the infamous Captain Hook, Hoffman imbued the character with an endearing and theatrical quality, thereby imbuing it with a charming undercurrent. His performance merged theatricality and profundity, thereby augmenting the established antagonistic figure. Furthermore, Hoffman was able to exploit the intricacies of a character's psyche, thereby elevating Hook to a more likable figure. During the mid-1990s, Hoffman appeared in the medical disaster film Outbreak, 1994, in which he portrayed a virologist attempting to stop the spread of a deadly virus. In a role that required a combination of intelligence and intensity, Hoffman delivered a convincing and compelling performance. His character's race against time to save humanity was portrayed with the characteristic sense of urgency and dedication for which he is known. One of the most pivotal roles of Hoffman's 1990s career was in Wag the Dog, 1997, a political satire in which he portrayed Stanley Motz, a Hollywood producer tasked with instigating a war to divert public attention from a presidential scandal. Hoffman's portrayal of Motz was an Oscar nomination and critical acclaim. It showcased his ability to portray complex characters with a blend of humor and satire. During the 1990s, Hoffman also ventured into more introspective and reflective roles. In Mad City, 1997, he portrayed a journalist who becomes entangled in a hostage situation. This performance marked a departure from the more exaggerated personas he had previously portrayed, opting for a more nuanced and reserved approach. Among other examples, Mad City demonstrated Hoffman's capacity to adjust to the changing cinematic landscape by embracing roles that mirrored the intricacies of contemporary existence. Hoffman maintained a prominent reputation beyond the screen in the film industry. Younger performers looked up to him as a role model due to his unwavering commitment to his craft and his eagerness to undertake difficult roles. He was not merely an actor, but rather an artist whose work was profoundly concerned with the human condition. Hoffman maintained a balance between commercial and critical acclaim throughout the 1990s. His selection of roles during this period demonstrated his industry acumen and ability to remain relevant in a film industry that was undergoing rapid change. He continued to collaborate with leading directors and actors, imbuing each role with his distinctive blend of intensity and authenticity. Dustin Hoffman solidified his reputation as an accomplished actor, capable of navigating diverse character archetypes and genres by the conclusion of the 1990s. His trajectory throughout this period served as evidence of his enduring prowess and perpetual capacity for self-reinvention. Hoffman's performances in the decade, ranging from the swashbuckling Hook to the cunning Stanley Motts, exemplified his versatility as an actor and his aptitude for imbuing his characters with depth and complexity. At the turn of the millennium, Dustin Hoffman deftly entered a period of his career characterized by the adoption of novel artistic techniques and the expansion of his creative sphere. Hoffman's prowess and readiness to venture into uncharted territories in the dynamic realm of cinema and beyond were palpable qualities that characterized the 2000s. A notable transition in Hoffman's career during this time period was his exploration of voice acting. In 2008, he provided the voice of Master Shifu in the animated blockbuster Kung Fu Panda. This casting enabled Hoffman to connect with a fresh, younger demographic by demonstrating his capacity to imbue animated characters with complexity and affection. His comical and empathetic depiction of the stern yet compassionate Kung Fu master added an element of sagacity and guidance to the film's narrative. During the 2000s, Hoffman appeared in comedic and dramatic films alike. He portrayed the lovable and eccentric Bernie Fokker in Meet the Fockers, 2004, and its sequel, Little Fockers, 2010. These films demonstrated Hoffman's comedic timing and ability to infuse his roles with humor, proving that he could be just as effective in comedy as he was in drama. An additional noteworthy film from this era was The Meyerowitz Stories, 2017, in which Hoffman portrayed the patriarch of an estranged family, Harold Meyerowitz. His performance exemplified his ability to depict multifaceted characters with a blend of narcissism, fragility, and humor. This role served as a testament to Hoffman's prowess in delving deeply into the human psyche and bringing to life flawed yet relatable characters. Hoffman's output during the 2000s expanded beyond the realm of film to encompass television as well, mirroring the industry's evolving inclination towards producing high-quality television content. His appearance as Chester Ace Bernstein on the legal drama series Luck, 2011-2012, marked a notable deviation from his previous film roles. In this capacity, Hoffman demonstrated that his talent could transcend mediums by imbuing the small screen with gravitas and complexity. During the 2000s, Hoffman underwent a process of introspection and development. After amassing an extensive career of 40 years, he was a renowned figure in Hollywood, esteemed not only for his creative output, but also for his unwavering commitment to the craft of acting. In pursuit of new challenges, he accepted roles that forced him to venture beyond his comfort zone and provided opportunities to delve into various aspects of his profession. By the conclusion of the 2000s, Dustin Hoffman had solidified his reputation as an actor capable of seamlessly transitioning across various mediums and genres. His ventures into animation, sustained success in the film industry, and television served as evidence of his adaptability and unwavering drive for fresh challenges. His performances throughout this period stood as a testament to his enduring prowess and his capacity to maintain relevance and influence in a competitive industry. Throughout the 2000s, Dustin Hoffman maintained his position as an industry titan by embracing new opportunities, delivering consistently compelling performances, and reaffirming his status as one of the industry's greatest actors. His legacy as a versatile, dynamic, and deeply committed artist continued to captivate audiences with his laborious performances and unwavering commitment to his craft. Hoffman made a notable transition in his professional trajectory during the early 2010s. On December 2012, he debuted as a director with Quartet, a film centered around retired musicians and singers residing in a retirement home for musicians. This undertaking held great personal significance for Hoffman, as it exemplified his profound affection for music and his comprehension of the subtleties and elegance of the aging process. Quartet served as a commemoration of the tenacity, wit, and enduring talent of retired musicians. Hoffman consistently delivered nuanced and complex on-screen performances. In the Meyerowitz Stories, 2017, he portrayed the patriarch of a dysfunctional family, a role that exemplified his ability to authentically and empathetically depict complex characters. His performance was an acting masterclass, combining a sardonic wit with a poignant vulnerability. Hoffman's performances throughout this decade exhibited a readiness to confront present-day themes and narratives. He assumed roles that resonated with the experiences of elderly characters, imbuing his portrayals with genuineness and relatability. Beyond his screen persona, Hoffman maintained a substantial impact on the industry. He persisted in serving as a mentor to up-and-coming actors, imparting his extensive knowledge and understanding of the craft of acting. His industry presence embodied that of an authority figure, having witnessed the progressive development of film throughout the years and having made substantial contributions to its expansion. His expertise in acting has been widely acclaimed and bestowed with numerous Academy Awards, BAFTAs, Golden Globes, and other prestigious distinctions. Nevertheless, his profound influence on audiences and the film industry remains his true legacy. Dustin Hoffman has demonstrated that an actor can not only achieve success, but also become a paradigm-shifting figure in the film industry by virtue of his talent, perseverance, and dedication to authenticity. Those who are willing to challenge established norms and pursue their passions with honesty should look up to him. Please share your thoughts on Hoffman's life and career in the comments section that follows.